Today, we're breaking down the 5 types of fake friends. The ones that quietly drain your energy, your time, and sometimes even your self-worth. Let's start with the first type, the user. This is the friend who treats you less like a person and more like a resource. You're the free Uber, the unpaid therapist, the networking bridge, the, "Hey, can you help me with this real quick?" contact. And that real quick somehow turns into a 3-hour favor. Funny how that works. The user doesn't actually ask how you're doing, not in a real way. They might say, "How are you?" But before you can answer, they're already pitching their request. Psychologically speaking, healthy relationships are built on reciprocity, a mutual exchange of support and care. Social exchange theory suggests that balanced give and take is what keeps bonds stable. When one side constantly withdraws without depositing, the relationship becomes emotionally bankrupt. And here's the tricky part. The user often makes you feel guilty for noticing it. They might say, "Wow, I thought we were friends." But real friendship isn't measured by how much you can extract from someone. It's measured by how safe they feel around you, and vice versa. Next, we have the gossip spreader. You know this one. The friend who always starts with, "Don't tell anyone I told you this," and then proceeds to tell you something they absolutely shouldn't be sharing. It might feel entertaining at first. Drama is addictive. Neuroscientists have even found that social gossip activates reward centers in the brain. It gives us a small dopamine hit. That's why it spreads so easily. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If they gossip with you, they gossip about you. The gossip spreader thrives on attention. They exaggerate stories, leak secrets, and turn minor misunderstandings into Netflix-level drama. And over time, this erodes trust. Studies on social bonding show that trust is the core pillar of long-term friendship. Once confidentiality is broken, psychological safety disappears. You'll start censoring yourself around them. You'll share less. You'll wonder what version of you is being narrated when you're not in the room. And friendship without trust is just proximity, not connection. Third is the opportunist. Now, the user and the opportunist are cousins, but not twins. The opportunist isn't always around. They disappear like Wi-Fi during a storm, but magically reconnect when there's something to gain. You get promoted? They show up. You start a business? Suddenly they always believed in you. You're going through a hard time? Radio silence. These friends operate on timing. They position themselves near potential benefits. Research on instrumental relationships shows that some individuals form connections primarily for status, access, or advancement rather than emotional closeness. And when the benefit dries up, so do they. What makes the opportunist dangerous isn't just their absence during your low seasons. It's the illusion of loyalty during your high ones. They clap the loudest when you're winning because your success reflects well on them. But the moment you need support without offering advantage, they're busy. Before we move on, if you find this topic interesting, consider liking the video, leaving a comment, and subscribing to the channel. It helps more people discover these ideas and keeps the algorithm on our side. Now, let's get back to it. Fourth, the emotional drainer. This one is subtle because it can disguise itself as vulnerability. Of course, friends should share struggles. We all need support. But the emotional drainer turns every interaction into a therapy session, and you're always the therapist. They complain constantly. The job is terrible. The relationship is terrible. The weather is terrible. Somehow, even free food has a problem. And notice something. When you try to talk about your own challenges, the conversation somehow bends back to them. Psychologists call this emotional contagion, the phenomenon where we absorb the moods of those around us. Research shows that prolonged exposure to chronic negativity can increase stress levels and emotional fatigue. That's why after spending time with this person, you feel drained, heavy, and strangely unmotivated. Supporting a friend is healthy. Carrying someone who refuses to walk is not. And finally, the fifth type, the competitive friend. This one smiles when you win, but their eyes are calculating. They don't celebrate your success, they measure it. You buy a new car? They talk about the one they're planning to buy. You share good news? They immediately top it with theirs. It becomes a subtle scoreboard. Social comparison theory explains that humans naturally evaluate themselves relative to others. But in healthy friendships, comparison inspires growth, not insecurity. The competitive friend sees your progress as a threat rather than proof of possibility. You'll notice backhanded compliments. "Wow, I didn't expect you to pull that off." Or minimized praise. "Must be nice." They shift conversations back to themselves because your spotlight feels like their shadow. And over time, this creates quiet tension. You start shrinking your wins to avoid making them uncomfortable. But real friends don't require you to dim your light so they can shine. Now here's the deeper truth. Fake friendships aren't always dramatic betrayals. Sometimes they're just consistent patterns of imbalance, one-sided effort, conditional presence, subtle undermining. And the reason many of us tolerate them is simple. We confuse familiarity with loyalty. But loneliness inside a friendship is more isolating than being alone. The good news? Awareness changes everything. Once you recognize these patterns, the user, the opportunist, the gossip spreader, the emotional drainer, and the competitive friend, you stop personalizing their behavior. It's not that you're not enough. It's that they're operating from scarcity, insecurity, or self-interest. And here's something empowering. You don't need to confront everyone dramatically. Sometimes growth simply means adjusting access, less availability, stronger boundaries, more observation, less oversharing. Because at the end of the day, friendship should feel like expansion, not exhaustion. So take a moment and reflect. Who in your life feels energizing? Who feels transactional? Who celebrates you when you're not in the room? Protect your energy like it's currency, because it is. And remember, real friends don't just show up when it's convenient. They show up when it counts. And that's it for today's topic. If you watched all the way to the end, thank you. I truly appreciate your time. Hopefully this video gave you a new idea, a new perspective, or at least something interesting to think about. If you enjoy videos like this, make sure to subscribe because we upload new content twice every week. So there's always another idea waiting for you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.